Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. This video is all about getting your cucumber plants off to a great start so you get a beautiful harvest over the season. First thing, these are my transplants. They were grown indoors for about 6 weeks, transitioned outdoors for a week, and they've been in the ground now for 10 days. When you bring your transplants outside, they're not used to the sun, so you may see a pattern like this. That is sun scald. That means the UV rays from the sun damaged the leaf. Nothing to worry about. A little bit of yellowing around the edges. This leaf is beat up too. Nothing to worry about. You want to look at the new growth. If it's a nice dark green, your plants are going to be perfectly fine. You could remove that leaf if you want to. This is also the finished product. So I'm going to show you how I set up this space through this video. We're going to talk about mulching, conserving water, what the heat of the sun does to the top couple of inches of the soil. We're going to talk about trellising. And I'm going to show you some direct sown cucumber seeds that are 14 days old. You can direct sow cucumber seeds. They germinate really quickly, and you don't have to go and spend money on, $3, $4, $5 cucumber transplants, and you don't have to really start indoors if you don't want to. There's benefits to starting your seeds, having transplants, but you don't have to do that. I don't want new gardeners to feel like they have to always buy transplants. So I'm going to show you how I set up this space, talk about tips that really will support your plant for great growth. And that's going to be some details on watering too, because people often underwater your cucumber plants. We'll also talk about trellising. All right, let's get started. The plants here are 14 days old. They look beautiful. I will link the video that shows you how I planted them. And the setup for direct seeding, you could have just dropped a transplant into here too. You don't need, super special amendments for any of this stuff. You just need good soil. But they look beautiful. 14 days old. Cucumbers, squash, zucchini, summer squash, winter squash, pumpkins, cantaloupe, watermelon, they're all going to germinate when it starts getting warm, when your days are in the 70s and your nights are staying in the upper 40s and 50s. In like 5 to 7 days, you don't have to spend a lot of money on transplants. Now, there's reasons to grow transplants. I've talked about that in my other videos, but you can really pick whatever works, best for you in your garden, and this is really the cheapest way to do it. Buy a pack of $2 seeds, drop in the seeds. You're not paying $3, $4, $5 a plant, and then you have plenty of seeds for a couple of years. So next step, these are up. The other cucumbers are established, they're getting nice and green. We want to go and mulch them. Mulch is important because it's going to keep moisture in the top 2, 4, 6 inches of your soil. Your plants send out lots of surface roots. While the deeper roots get down to where maybe moisture is, keeping cucumber plants well watered is going to make the biggest difference. And that's the truth for your whole garden. I find that the biggest mistake people make is they underwater. So as the sun, it's getting hot with the summer and all that, upper 70s, 80s, 90-degree temperatures, your soil can bake. I mean, it literally can get over 100 degrees. By putting mulch down, you're going to keep the water in, you're going to keep the soil cooler, and come later summer, your cucumber plants, your other squashes, melons, and etc. will continue to produce better because the shallow roots aren't getting superheated. Usually plants shut down and they stop producing when that top couple inches gets really, really hot. Mulch will make all the difference. I like using shredded hardwood. You can use straw, hay, grass clippings, combination of all of them. And shredded hardwood, these chunks here by my thumb are a little bit big, but generally speaking, it's shredded, it's fine like that. And this will all break down and be pulled into your soil over time. So I really like the shredded hardwood versus big chips or anything like that. I'm just going to put down 1 inch across the surface of this space and where the seedlings just germinated. That's going to make a huge difference. So mulching as soon as you can when the seedlings break the surface, and you can mulch around them. And again, real quick, you can see the damage pattern on here from these transplants coming up. But right where the growth is, it looks beautiful. That's what you're looking for, is just this nice green growth. And you can see leaves are coming out the stem. Now these are larger. They're not going to really produce that much sooner than the seed dropped cucumber plants. So I want to keep that in mind, and I want to stress again, new gardeners coming in sometimes feel they have to buy transplants. Great reasons to buy transplants. A shorter season, your temperatures don't warm up quickly, there are reasons for transplants, but you can go with direct seeding. It's sort of an art that we lost because we feel like we have to go and buy transplants. Nothing fancy, about 1 inch of shredded hardwood. Again, you can use all kinds of different things for mulch. If you're going to use grass clippings, you got to make sure you didn't put any weeding chemicals on the lawn. It will damage your plants, but you can put down the green grass clippings about 1 inch or 2. When that dries and turns brown, you can put down another 1 or 2 inches of grass clippings, and it makes a wonderful mulch, and it's practically free. So this will cut down the need for watering by, almost half by just putting down the mulch. You're going to keep it cooler, like I said. The sun is coming down now. The heat is going to be absorbed by the wood. The moisture is going to stay in the soil. Your plants are going to grow better. These were fed when they were put into the ground with a water-soluble fertilizer. And that's to really help them, take off. Water-soluble fertilizer, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium is immediately available to the plant. We don't have to do that again today. We don't have to use water-soluble fertilizer every week. When these are growing a bit, maybe they're a foot, almost 1.5 feet tall, they have flowers, they have cucumbers starting. If they look like they need some water-soluble fertilizer, I will give it to them. What I'd like to do now is take any organic granular fertilizer. This is a slow release. It has to break down over time, and I just scatter it loosely across the shredded hardwood. What does that do? That's going to add nitrogen right into the wood. Bacteria enjoy nitrogen. They multiply. They use it when they decompose organic matter, and that will just help the process of decomposition start for your shredded hardwood. But it's also going to start to break down by microbes, get washed into the top couple inches of your soil, and your cucumber will use that down the line. This is my basic setup. You might notice I have dill in here, I have garlic growing in here. I am putting in different herbs with strong scents to see if it helps manage problems from pests showing up in the garden. But this is just soft nut garlic from Costco, couple of cloves, put them in there, and these popped up, really in 7 days. So you can put garlic throughout your garden. It may not work for the insects, but you're gonna have a lot of garlic that you can use over time. Okay, let's go back to the direct seeded cucumbers. The hot 80-day degrees are coming here in Maryland. I'm in Maryland Zone 7. Best thing you can do, again, water your plants more frequently, but really put the mulch down. You can also put cardboard down first. I have cardboard under here to keep the weeds down, so when I planted the seeds, I pulled the cardboard back, wet it down, putting it back down. Earthworms will come in, they will enjoy this. They will move around the root systems of your cucumber plants. They will leave behind worm castings, and it really does benefit your plants. You can put down a layer of cardboard, and then just go ahead, throw the mulch on there, 1/2 inch or inch, something like that. Just don't put the mulch up right to where the stems are. Just leave a nice big circle right in there. The plants will be fine. As these get a little bit bigger, I'm going to thin them down to 2 plants or a single plant per hole, because having really 9 cucumber plants in this small space is way too many. So I'm waiting for the true leaves. These are the true leaves, the ones that are just starting to pop out. When they look pretty good, I will decide which plant to keep, and I will thin one out. So let me finish mulching up this space. The mulch is down. I sprinkled some of the organic granular fertilizer across the wood chips. Now, just for price comparison, when you buy cucumber transplants, usually you get 2 plants, maybe 3 plants per container. Let's just say they cost $4 a transplant. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 plantings. That's $16. Pack of seeds will cost you about $2. And seriously, this is maybe 30 cents worth of seeds right in here. And you'll have seeds for next year, the following year. Just keep them inside. They're good for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on what type of seed you have. That's a great savings, especially if you're on a budget. Instead of paying up $16 for 4 plantings of transplants, get a pack of seeds, cost you $2, and you're good to go. The plants here are market more. They're going to get they vine a lot, so you need a nice trellis system set up like this. I'm going to talk about trellising in a second. Next step, soak in your plants. You're good to go. You're going to want to probably water a couple times a week, depending on whether or not you're getting rain or how hot the day is. But you can basically just move your mulch away, check the soil surface. If it's nice and moist, you don't have to water. Again, if you're not sure, give them a little bit extra water, they'll appreciate that. One of the questions I always get asked about is how often do I water? And that just varies greatly. I can't tell you how often to water your garden. You just sort of have to learn, because when plants are small and just germinating, you don't need as much water, and then the temperatures are cooler at night and cooler during the day. When the days are getting into the upper 70s and 80s, you can't really over water your garden that's in the earth, because the water's going to drain away. When you're growing cool weather crops, you're putting in peas, and the night temperatures might drop into the low 40s, the days may not get out of the 50s, it is possible to overwater, but you're basically keeping the soil just really damp and wet and soggy, and some of your seeds can rot. You don't really have to worry about that with your warm weather crops like cucumber plants. I want to just show you real quick some watering basics. If I wanted to deep water this cucumber plant, well, let's go a little bit higher. It's going to be something like this, and I'm going to leave the camera on the whole time, and it's going to be about 10, even 15 seconds. This will bring the water down deeper into the soil, you know, maybe 12 inches deep, slowly, but you're getting deeper into the soil, and that water is going to stay down there. It's just not going to evaporate as much, and a lot of your plants will put out deeper roots, and they'll use that. That's a deep watering. If you're just coming in to water the mulch, get into that top 2 inches of the soil, you just need something like that. And maybe you do this more, you know, frequently during the week. You do the deep watering, I don't know, maybe once a week. It really depends, again, on your temperatures and how big the plants are. But you want to just give the mulch enough water that the water goes through the mulch, lands onto your soil, and it's going to move into that top 2, 4, 6 inches of your plants. That kind of watering, the consistency of keeping the water, and I want to stress it, in that top 4, 6 inches of your soil really increases the growth of your plant, the production of your plant, and it makes the plants a lot happier. So this is just the basic setup. These are good to go. Follow me, I'll show you how I take care of the cucumber plants over the season. Next thing is trellising. These are bush variety cucumber plants. These are wire closet racks. They're about 4 feet tall. That's just a simple U-post. I have videos on my channel on all kinds of trellising. I'll be doing one in about a week or so. But just the wire racks tied to the T-post or a U-post or even a stake works perfectly well for bush type variety cucumbers. They need something to trellis so that you can grow vertically. And by growing vertically, you're going to save space. They're easier to take care of, inspect for diseases and pests. Instead of having the vines cover everywhere over here, you're going to grow vertically, and it's going to save you space. And then in that extra space, I'm going to have dill and garlic growing right in there. Here are some other examples of trellises. Real quick, these are 10 feet tall. These are larger closet racks on stronger posts. I like to use cattle panel. These are 12-foot pieces, and they're just rainbowed over here. I'm growing peas up them on this side. On this side, there'll be green beans growing. Doing the same design right here, but in a more narrow path with the cattle panel. So that cattle panel points up to about 8 feet tall, so it's really easy to walk under. But it comes up from this side, arches over, and comes down on this side. It's held in place by 3 U-posts, and they get their name because they're the shape of a U. And the cattle panel just wants to spring out. So when you put in the 3 posts, super secure, easy to take up, easy to take down. I have watermelon growing on that side, and I have the cucumber plants right on here. These are the Market More. They get to about 8 inches, and they're going to vine a whole lot. I will just grow them right up this space. So you do want to trellis your cucumber plants. You don't have to, but they're going to take up a lot more space in your garden and are a little bit harder to manage for pests and disease when you can't just, you would just come right out here. You could spray under the leaves real easily. You can inspect them. You can take care of them a little bit better. And it's kind of cool doing a trellis like this because I can come out and just harvest cucumbers right off of here about shoulder high. This is the basic setup for early care of your cucumber plants. And again, subscribe. I'll show you how to take care of them through the entire season. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. And when temperatures start getting into the 80s during the day, Give direct seeding a chance. I think you'll be really satisfied with how quickly cucumbers, squash, watermelon, pumpkins, cantaloupe germinate. You'll save yourself some money and you'll have a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.